lot of the times, these individuals are at a state where they can't access services on their own.
Expanding mental health resources in Central Washington. Meet the designated crisis responder for the Grant County Sheriff's Office.
Waking up to another round of patchy morning fog tomorrow, but I think there's more sunshine in the forecast as temperatures take a dip this weekend.
To Washington, I bid you fair winds and following seas.
After 12 years as Washington's Governor Jay Inslee delivering his final State of the State address.
KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Henrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Christian Garza. Mark has the night off. New tonight, the Grant County Sheriff's Office is bringing in a new team member to help people in crisis when responding to emergencies. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy reports out of Ephrata tonight with the details.
A designated crisis responder is being brought in to help deputies work with those suffering a mental health crisis. It's the first of its kind in Grant County, and staff say they hope to see that role grow in the new year. Meet the newest member of the Grant County Sheriff's Department, Lanny Abundis. She's the first designated crisis responder the Sheriff's Department's ever staffed, thanks to a grant through a mental health clinic in Moses Lake she's worked for. She says her new role provides faster access for resources, some in areas of the county her previous job had a hard time getting to.
The crisis team is located in Moses Lake, so if you had somebody calling in from Cooley, it would be maybe an hour and a half response time. Whereas the corresponding DCR, if they are already on patrol with a deputy, they would be able to respond immediately as soon as the deputy made contact.
Kyle Foreman with the Sheriff's Office says the inspiration for the position came after Grant County deputies say since the pandemic, they continue to respond to calls regarding people in mental health crises.
Deputies were encountering people with mental health crises more frequently, and those were presenting in homes, they were presenting in businesses, they were presenting in public, they were presenting on overpass bridges.
Abundis' role includes evaluating inmates in the county jail as well as riding with deputies on patrol.
And a lot of the times, these individuals are at a state where they can't access services on their own.
She says her job is to make sure they know.
I have the opportunity to be able to look for other resources for them if they meet a certain criteria for suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation, or gravely disabled.
Foreman says he hopes to see more DCR positions become available across the state. In Grant County, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Now to Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Tonight, 2 Grant County Sheriff's deputies have been placed on leave after a man died while in the county jail on New Year's Eve. The sheriff announced 2 corrections deputies are on paid administrative leave as the investigation continues. Those deputies were placed on leave January 2nd, 2 days after corrections officers found Richard Lambert dead in a bed inside the jail. The sheriff says paid administrative leave is common practice during death investigations and does not indicate suspected wrongdoing.
The inmate death investigation, the Central Basin Investigative Team is conducting the death investigation, and then after the death investigation is complete, the Benton County Sheriff's Office will come in and do an administrative policy investigation to find out if there were any gaps in our policies or things that needed to be improved.
Right now, it's not known exactly how the man died. The U.S. Department of Commerce announced a $48 million grant today aimed at making Spokane a leader in the aerospace industry. The program was created by the CHIPS and Space Act passed by Congress in 2022, which Senator Maria Cantwell spearheaded. The grant money is for creating a Spokane tech hub that will move in the former Triumph Composite Systems building in Airway Heights. Now that hub will develop and manufacture lighter, more efficient materials for planes and other aerospace technology. The facility is aimed to be up and running in 2026. Also, Spokane is getting $2 million from the federal government to help fund a new rapid transit service on Division Street. The project will convert the current STA Route 25. Senators Murray and Cantwell say the project will mean faster, more reliable bus service in Spokane. That was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. KREM.com. Taking a break from the headlines, switching things over to weather tonight, let's take a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoux.
Well, that little bit of a peak of sunshine earlier today felt really, really nice. And the good news is we have more of it in the coming days. We are under that ridge of high pressure now, so a little bit of cloud cover sliding over the top of us was just a sign of the lower side of that ridge. Now, as it slides over a little more, I think tomorrow is kind of the last day where we really reap the benefits of that before everything starts to shift. We've done a great job of drying out the lower levels of the atmosphere, so temperatures are going to drop a little more. We're going to fall back into the mid-20s-ish around much of the inland northwest, and that's going to cause a little bit of patchy fog formation. Those dew points are lower, we're drier in the low levels of the atmosphere, but that also means that we have a better shot at seeing sun. That sun should start to peak out as we move through the day tomorrow, and I think those temperatures tomorrow afternoon wind up looking very similar to what we saw today, mid, even upper 30s across the inland northwest, and that's just the start. 36 tomorrow, 37 on Thursday, and partly cloudy skies, mostly sunny and 33 degrees come Friday.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee delivered his final State of the State address today in Olympia. Inslee addressed the challenges ahead and reflected at what he considers his greatest accomplishment. Sebastian Robertson reports.
To Washington, I bid you fair winds and following seas.
Governor Jay Inslee touting his accomplishments while calling on the new generation of politicians to stay the course.
Washington voters just sent a strong message that they want to continue the path we're building.
Inslee started his political career as a legislator out of the Yakima Valley some 35 years ago. He's the state's second three-term governor. In today's speech, Inslee spoke about his political victories, pointing to the capital gains tax and assault weapons ban and the abolishment of the death penalty.
Let's be clear. By this act, we are ending the death penalty in the state of Washington. Period.
Though many argue he will be best remembered for his leadership over the course of the pandemic.
Even though post-COVID, we do know that there were consequences for the choices that he made, like students falling behind relative to schools that stayed open. But the death rate stayed a lot lower.
He fired healthcare workers.
State GOP Chairman Jim Walsh sees things differently, pointing to the thousands of state workers fired over the vaccine mandate that's since been repealed.
When the good people of Washington questioned his mandates and edicts during the COVID outbreaks, he punished them with all the power of the state.
Through his speech, Inslee also touted the paid family medical leave assistance program passed in 2019 and environmental stewardship, including the state's Climate Commitment Act, which set the ambitious goal of cutting 95% of greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2050.
The secret of our success is we don't leave anybody behind. We follow the science and we work together to make extremely difficult decisions. 3, 2, 1, march!
After his final address, his official portrait was unveiled and now hangs in the state capitol. The artist behind the historic piece of art is a Spokane native. Now, Grace Float was born in Spokane before moving to Seattle, where she works as a painter and arts educator. It took her 6 months to complete the work. She spent time with Inslee and his wife Trudy to get a sense of who he is before she began painting.
It's that spirit of collaboration, openness to new ideas, your spirit of service, and your dedication to environmentalism that I put into this work.
The portrait will now hang in the office of the governor with Inslee's predecessors dating all the way back to 1857. Tomorrow, Washington's new governor will be sworn in. Gov Ferguson takes over the role from Inslee. The ceremony will take place at noon. You can watch the full ceremony on KREM 2+. A staple in the Olympic National Forest is at risk after several recent strong storms on the coast. Now, that's what's been dubbed the Tree of Life. It's started to slump. That's according to rangers with the national park. Now, the iconic tree might be in danger of falling to the ground. The national park did reiterate that the tree is still there, despite claims online that it fell into the ocean. The spruce tree that hangs off of a cliff by its roots has become a must-see for visitors that come to the state. And that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. Don't go to bed just yet. President-elect Trump's defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, grilled on Capitol Hill today. Find out more about the slim margin he needs to secure the position. Plus, the Washington Supreme Court weighing in on the state's ban on high-capacity magazines. We'll be back in just 90 seconds.